Spaghetti. Spaghetti is one of the most recognizable pasta shapes in the world. Long, thin, and perfectly round. But spaghetti was not always considered Italian. The earliest versions of long noodle-like pasta existed in China thousands of years ago. When traders traveled along the Silk Road, similar noodle techniques spread across continents. Italy eventually adopted the idea and transformed it into something new. Spaghetti became popular in southern Italy because it was cheap to make, easy to store, and could feed large families with simple ingredients. But the most surprising detail is how spaghetti is actually made. Modern spaghetti is pushed through bronze molds called dies. Those molds create tiny, rough surfaces on the pasta. You can't see them, but they matter. Because rough pasta holds sauce better than smooth pasta. That's why high-quality spaghetti often feels slightly dusty or textured before cooking. It's not a flaw, it's a sign of craftsmanship. Penne. Penne is one of the most practical pasta shapes ever created. Short, tube-shaped, and cut at an angle. That angled cut is not random. It was designed to help sauce flow inside the pasta instead of sliding off the surface. The name penne comes from the Italian word for quill, like the tip of an old writing pen. The shape was invented in the 1800s after new machines allowed pasta to be cut cleanly at precise angles. Before that invention, most pasta had rough, uneven ends. But penne changed everything. Its hollow center traps sauce, cheese, and small ingredients, making every bite more flavorful. That's why penne is often used in baked pasta dishes. It holds structure, it holds heat, and it holds sauce better than many other shapes. But here's the surprising part. There are actually two main versions of penne. One has ridges, one is completely smooth. The ridged version, called penne rigate, is usually preferred by chefs because the grooves grip thick sauces more effectively. The smooth version, penne lisse, is still popular in some regions of Italy, where tradition matters more than texture. Same shape. Different performance. Fusilli. Fusilli is instantly recognizable because of its spiral shape. Twisted, corkscrew-like, and tightly coiled. But that spiral is not just for appearance. It was designed to solve a problem. Sauce. Straight pasta lets sauce slide off. Spiral pasta traps it. Every twist creates small pockets where sauce can hide, making each bite more flavorful than a smooth noodle. The name fusilli comes from the Italian word fuso, which means spindle. A spindle is a tool used to spin thread, and that's exactly how fusilli was originally made. Early cooks wrapped strips of dough around thin rods and rolled them by hand to create the spiral shape. But the most surprising detail is how strong fusilli is. Because of its thick structure and tight curves, fusilli holds its shape even during long cooking times. That durability makes it perfect for heavy sauces, pasta salads, and baked dishes. It doesn't fall apart. It holds the line. That reliability is why fusilli became a staple in kitchens around the world. Macaroni. Macaroni is one of the most widely recognized pasta shapes in the world. Short, curved tubes with a hollow center. But macaroni did not become famous because of Italy. It became famous because of America. In the early 1900s, macaroni was cheap, filling, and easy to mass produce. Factories could make thousands of pieces quickly, and families could store it for months without refrigeration. That made it perfect during hard economic times, especially during the Great Depression. Macaroni and cheese became a household staple because it provided a hot, satisfying meal using only a few inexpensive ingredients. But the real reason macaroni works so well with cheese is its shape. The hollow center traps melted cheese while the curved surface creates more contact points between the pasta and the sauce. That combination creates a thick, creamy texture in every bite, and here's the detail most people never notice. Macaroni is technically a type of elbow pasta. The curve is created by pushing dough through a die while rotating it slightly during cutting. That tiny motion changes the entire shape. A small adjustment, a massive difference. Farfalle. Farfalle is one of the most recognizable pasta shapes because of its unique appearance. It looks like a small bow tie or butterfly. That shape is not decorative. It was designed for texture. Farfalle is thicker in the center and thinner at the edges. This creates two different cooking zones in the same piece of pasta. The middle stays firm, the edges become softer. That contrast gives each bite a mix of textures instead of a single uniform feel. The name farfalle actually means butterflies in Italian, and the shape dates back hundreds of years to northern Italy, where cooks pinched small rectangles of dough together by hand. But here's the surprising detail. Farfalle is notoriously difficult to cook perfectly. If it cooks too long, the thin edges become mushy. If it cooks too short, the thick center stays underdone. That narrow window is why professional kitchens watch this pasta closely. It looks playful, but it demands precision. Rigatoni. Rigatoni is a large, tube-shaped pasta with deep ridges running along the outside. It looks similar to penne, but bigger, wider, and cut straight across instead of at an angle. That difference changes how it performs. Rigatoni is built for heavy sauces. The wide opening allows thick ingredients like meat, vegetables, and melted cheese to slide inside the tube. At the same time, the ridges on the outside grip the sauce and prevent it from slipping off. That combination makes rigatoni one of the most efficient pasta shapes ever designed. But here's the detail most people never notice. Rigatoni is often used in baked dishes because of its structure. It holds its shape under high heat, it doesn't collapse, it doesn't break apart, and it creates small air pockets inside the dish, allowing heat to circulate more evenly during baking. And that's why many classic baked pasta recipes rely on rigatoni instead of thinner noodles. It's not just about taste, it's about engineering. Ravioli. Ravioli looks very different from most pasta. Instead of a simple noodle, it's a pocket, a sealed square of dough filled with ingredients. But ravioli was not created for luxury. It was created to avoid waste. In medieval Italy, cooks used leftover meats, vegetables, and cheeses that would otherwise spoil. They wrapped those scraps in thin sheets of pasta and boiled them into small packages. That simple idea turned leftovers into a complete meal. But the most surprising detail about ravioli is how delicate it is. The edges must be sealed perfectly. If even a tiny gap forms, the filling leaks out during cooking. And once that happens, the entire piece can fall apart in seconds. That's why traditional ravioli is often pressed by hand or cut using molds that create tight, ridged edges. Those ridges are not decoration, they are insurance. Because in pasta, structure matters just as much as flavor. Linguine. Linguine looks similar to spaghetti at first glance. Long, thin, straight, but there is one important difference. Linguine is flat, not round. That flat surface changes how sauce behaves. Round pasta lets sauce slide off. Flat pasta gives sauce something to cling to. That's why linguine is often paired with lighter, oil-based sauces instead of thick, heavy ones, especially seafood. The shape allows delicate ingredients like shrimp, clams, or garlic oil to coat the noodle evenly without overpowering it. But here's the detail most people never realize. Linguine cooks slightly faster than spaghetti, even when they look the same length. Because flat pasta has more surface area exposed to water, heat penetrates more quickly. That means timing becomes critical. Just 1 extra minute can turn linguine from perfectly tender to overly soft. And in professional kitchens, that difference matters. A small change in shape, a big change in performance. Orzo. Orzo is one of the most confusing pasta shapes at first glance, because it doesn't look like pasta at all. It looks like rice, small, oval, smooth. That resemblance is intentional. The word orzo actually means barley in Italian, even though the pasta is made from wheat. The shape was designed to mimic grains, making it easier to cook in soups, stews, and pilafs, where larger noodles would feel out of place. But the most surprising detail about orzo is how versatile it is. It can be boiled like pasta, simmered like rice, or baked into casseroles. Few pasta shapes can switch roles that easily. And because each piece is so small, orzo cooks very quickly, sometimes in less than half the time of traditional noodles. That speed made it popular in busy kitchens where efficiency mattered. Small size, fast cooking, maximum flexibility.